Hello and welcome to the 8th episode of How to Actually Improve at Monster Hunter. Last chapter I discussed stagger locking and the benefit that comes from having half a minute's worth of free reign. This chapter will cover attack fishing. When you consider the word fishing, you may think of fishing for food or fishing for compliments. The concept we're covering today is no different from the latter. Typically, the term would be baiting, but considering the fact that there are so many different uses for the word in gaming, I've just figured to call it attack fishing, which is the act of forcing conditions to be met in order to produce expected or preferred actions and or outcomes. Monster attacks have a chance of activation depending on their distance from the player, sightline, combo string possibilities, current state, and damage thresholds. In regards to distance, monsters have a select pool of actions to use when determining the distance to the player. I cannot emphasize enough that there is a chance for things to happen. A chance. Close, mid-range, and far attacks can or cannot happen even outside of their preferred range. For instance, it doesn't matter how close or far you are, Diablos will use the charge attack or the rock throw, but it will not use side bite unless you are close or it runs up on you while you're far away. This is no different from other monsters where they have close range attacks and long range attacks. In order to get a higher chance of distance-based attacks, you would need to abuse the said distance the attack would occur. For close range attacks, stay huddled up on the monster either directly in front of it or to the sides and behind it. Remember to keep your positioning so you're ready for whatever comes next, but don't move off the monster. Be wary, some monsters have an attack that lets them retreat or jump back before attacking. For mid-range attacks, stand within an area between you and the monster that isn't within close or long range. Kinda self-explanatory, sorry if it's even on there. Long-range attacks should be self-explanatory as well, but all you need to do is keep away as far as you can as long as you are within the same area. Monster sightlines are based on whether or not the monster is targeting you and within its field of vision. Plenty of monsters have an attack that revolves around them swiping backwards, spinning around to hit you, or turning to face you dead on before doing an attack. The most infamous example is Rajang, who usually does a donkey kick, but can also surprise you every now and again and use an entirely different attack. Anticipating these kinds of actions in both single and multiplayer can help you with setups or preventative measures. You never know when the guy with the diversion will lose the monster's focus and you're the next target. Combo strings are a series of attacks performed by the monster. In my Create and Capitalize on Openings video, I talked about how Rathian will use a predetermined set of attacks when performing the tailspin while enraged. While she has one of 3 options to run through, with the 90-degree rotation being the primary one, many other monsters have combos based on their distance from you. Diablos is one such example. If Diablos charges you and misses, one of the few things can occur. Unlike other games, it won't just immediately turn around and blitz you again. If you're far away, it'll do one of its few long-range attack choices. If you're close to and or standing behind it, there's a high chance it will do its side-to-side tail swing. If you're in front, it will just take an assortment from its close range, distance sight on you kind of attack and carry on. Another example is Garangolm, whose enraged arm slam can be manipulated. When it does the rocket jump to get behind you, depending on your distance, it will either do a stationary slam attack or rocket jump again to slam on you. Depending on the monster's combos and whether or not they actually change it up depending on the scenario, you can force monsters to behave how you want even during their craziest moments. However, this will not work on scripted events such as Malzeno's Barrage, if you want to call it that. As this is something I've highlighted in a bit more detail in my previous videos, I won't spend too much time on it. A monster's current state can dictate what actions they choose to perform as they gain access to more of their move pool during this time. Just like Rathian's double tail swing, while enraged, Diablos' burrow jump, and Nargacuga's double tail slam. If you know the attacks you want to look for only happen during enrage, you just have to pressure the monster into doing so. As for damage thresholds, these concepts are a little bit similar, but they are a little bit more particular. Some monsters have instances where their super attack or enraged state are activated once they hit a certain amount of health. Lucid Nargacuga and Flaming Espinas do a death combo after taking a certain amount of damage, while the Metal Wraths enter their incandescent state. These instances can be dealt with by fishing them out, but for death combos, even if you're not good at counting numbers, you can assume by how much you've done so far that it's about to happen. Simply anticipate its arrival and get yourself to a safe distance before it begins. As for the Wrath situation, there's nuance to their state. Incandescent strengthens their fire attacks and gives them access to their supernova combo at the cost of their head being made a weaker spot. They only gain access to the supernova combo when enraged. However, you could handle it similarly to the death combos by trying your best to prevent it from happening, like a flash spamming or trapping, but you could also take a fleet-footed or proactive approach to it. If the special state is about to occur, you could simply wait until the monster's enrage is worn off and activate it then. Another way would be to go fully aggressive to try and beat out the superpower before the state can really start to take off. This way you can ensure that whatever was to come next takes as little away from you as possible. That's all for the examples, and we're going to be introducing today's premier monster, Tigrex. Originally, it was going to be Garangolm, but I didn't feel it represented the quality I was trying to instill. I want to abuse Tigrex's lunging or biting attacks and combos, as those attacks see Tigrex staying within the same area and not running around the entire arena doing its charge attack spam. In order to do that, I have to not only remain close, but also stay almost in front of it near its sides, and behind it to force it for a higher chance for those moves to come out. Again, in this one, no demo hunt, just Psycho. Oh, and I'm not going to be hitting off any infinite zero-sum discharges, just so you understand precisely the point I'm trying to make. And that's that. To reiterate, attack fishing is manipulating the probability of an attack or instance that is desired through positioning and planning for any deviations. You had to have been around for Fatalis and Iceborne, but this is precisely the technique people would use in order to shred the big cheese. Next episode will feature weapon mobility, and it'll be a little bit of a faster one. Hope you enjoyed this, and until next time.